So we just talked the other day about this news article on Windows Central showing this patent that Zach was able to confirm with independent sources was going to be what Microsoft's Surface Duo 3 was going to look like. If you want to know all of that, kind of a recap on that story, that link is in the description down below. But there is sort of branching off from this story another question which I think deserves its own dedicated video, and that is, how would that device have functioned? Of course, Surface Duo is a dual screen device. This was a patent for a device with well, I guess there are technically still two screens. There's a cover display and then there is an internal display, but that internal display, rather than having two displays here, it was going to have one large display, something like a Pixel Fold, a Z Fold, a OnePlus Open, something like that. So how would that have functioned? Would this device have functioned just like a Z Fold style device functions, or would it be different? Let's first do a little bit of like comparing and contrasting so you can kind of get the full picture. On a typical Android device, this is a Pixel Fold. This is obviously a tablet style device, similar to Surface Duo, but one screen instead of two. Whenever you launch an application, it defaults to opening across the entire screen. We'll just fire up YouTube Music because it's right there. It's going to fill up the entire screen. If you want to split this screen in two and have an app here and an app here, there are various different ways to do this dependent upon the OEM, the device that you're actually using. We'll do it with the Pixel Fold. We'll just use the taskbar and we'll pull up Threads there, and now I have two apps side by side. But again, the default behavior is full screen, and then you can add a second app next to that full screen app. With Surface Duo, this behavior was completely different. So on Surface Duo 2, just to kind of give you that visual, we're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to actually come over here and we're going to launch YouTube Music. And instead of it launching across both screens like we just saw with the Pixel Fold, again, to remind you of this, Android does not see two independent screens. It just doesn't. And I'm going to show you this like in real time here in just a moment. It sees one continuous screen, but the operating system is choosing to put one app on one side of that screen. And if I come back over here and I fire up Threads, it's going to launch it on the other side of the screen. You will literally see your launcher on the other side if you've not launched anything else on that side. Now, if you want to take an app and make it full screen, what you can do is drag that app with a little handle into the middle, and now it is a full screen app. They call that spanning on Surface Duo, but I can actually do you one better and give you a better visual representation of how this would have worked. So what we have now is my Duo 2 plugged into an external monitor that happens to have a touch screen, and it's going to give you a better visual representation of, I think, how this device was going to work. So as you can see here, like I mentioned, Android does not see two screens. There's nothing in between these two. This is a physical hinge that is there, but Android is not aware of that being a thing necessarily. There is stuff on top of the operating system that makes this function. You have two independent pages, and that is not a revolutionary concept. If we go back to the Pixel Fold, it also has two distinct pages. A lot of these devices operate that exact same way. So that part's not necessarily weird. What is weird is that if I launch an app on that side, on that page, it's going to only put it over there. And if I launch another app over here, it's going to do the same. But if I leave this open, it'll be open. You'll just have the launcher visible underneath or over to the side and also underneath this other application. That is very, very different. And it's a thing that I'm not 100% sure if that's how it was going to work on this Duo 3 or not. But there are some things I can definitely tell you. There's a chance that when you had it opened, if you selected an app on the left side, it would open it only on the left side and leave the launcher open. There's a chance it would have automatically spanned it, which is just dragging it to the middle. It may have just launched it like that. I'm not 100% sure on that looking back at the video. But I can tell you that if you launched an application and it was spanned, you had in the video that I saw anyways, you had a little handle down here at the bottom, and you could grab that handle and flick it over to the side, and it would do this. It would have the launcher on the other side, and then you were free to launch another app. So basically, instead of multitasking like we do on the Pixel Fold, where I launch the first app and then I grab the second one off my taskbar and then drag it up, with this device, you would have that app already launched. It's across both screens, and you would simply throw it to the other screen, and now you have your full launcher at your disposal to do whatever you want with. This is kind of almost reminiscent of what you have on the OnePlus Open with the two fingers swipe down, and then you can see your launcher. Very, very similar in a way to that. Now, from what I saw, you were also able to throw the app back and forth, and this is another thing that is very novel in the Android space. Like, there's no one else really allowing you to do that sort of thing, and you may wonder, like, why would I need to do that? And I'll kind of give you an example. Like, let's say, a lot of the time when I was using my Surface Duo 2, I was holding it like this. Oops, I just clicked on something with my knuckle. I was holding it like this, and I would have it in book mode even if I was using only one application, and this screen would just sort of be open, just patiently waiting for me to launch a second application. And let's say as I'm using this, I think to myself, oh, I need to open this other application, but I don't want to close this one, but I don't want it to be my primary app. So what I would do is I would flick it over to the other screen, and then I would launch the new app that I was using. I would do what I needed to do, and then when I was done, I would go home and I would flick this one back over. That may be a little bit strange, and I'm sure for a lot of people it probably is, but it's something that I, for whatever reason, got really used to doing, and it would have been cool to have had it on another device. Now, with that device, obviously, it's not like this. It has a cover display. So on this device, you would fold it all the way around, and it would go to a single screen mode. You have both of your pages. As you can see, it doesn't really know what to do with that. There we go. It would work like this. Of course, with this device, the other screen, the cover display would be out here. So you would just close it, and then that cover display would behave pretty similarly to what we have here with Duo or Duo 2. It would be very, very similar to that. It would just behave like a normal phone with applications going full screen if you selected them. So guys, there you go. Sort of a little bit of a peek into what might have been with a single folding screen Surface Duo 3. Let me know in the comments down below, is this a thing that you could have used? Do you think that doing it this way would have appropriately and effectively replicated the dual screen experience such that you could have gotten the same sort of multitasking use out of this as you did with two discrete screens? I'd love to hear the conversation on that in the comments down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.